welcome back to another video. We are back with One Piece, and Oda Oda cooked for the 3 weeks he took a break, and now I'm scared. There's so much happening in chapter 11, 12 that, I mean, it's just like there's so much tension happening. We get a lot of check-ins this chapter, but the main thing about this chapter that I want to talk about is just how much the tides have turned in this one chapter, what it leaves you thinking, and then for me, my main question is like, how are we going to get out of this? How are we going to get out of this situation, and who's coming to help us? Because at this moment, with everybody here that we have, it doesn't seem like we have enough people to fight off the 5 elders properly and get away. There's so much going on. So we'll just start at the beginning and go run through the chapter, and then I'll give my thoughts, and I have like 1 or 2 theories, so I'll talk about that. First of all, I will have to say, the skeletal horse, Gorosei, 5 elder guy, he scares me the most right now. Like, I don't know, he scares me the most. He is the most intimidating, and that panel of him at the end when he shows up in front of Bonnie just gives me chills. Every single time I look at it, it is just such a chilling panel. Like, Oda did it so well, he drew it so well, but it just sends chills down my spine. But we get Skelly Horse running off through the island, destroying all these Kumas, and saying, like, how could Vegapunk give all this power to a 12-year-old girl, because they're all after Bonnie. They don't want Bonnie to escape, they don't want Luffy or the Straw Hats to escape, and they want to sink the Elbaf ship. They're trying to seclude these Straw Hats on Egghead so that they all perish there. We get a really cool Frankie moment, which we haven't seen Frankie shine a lot lately, and I really like that he got a little bit of a moment here where he has that strong right and he just knocks this guy out. I love it. I love to see Frankie in action. We haven't got a lot of Frankie moments. Here it is. We get Bonnie defending her dad, of course, because of course she's gonna defend Kuma, and she turns a soldier into a child and then kicks him and continues on her way while she's asking the giants to take Kuma to safety. We get Vegapunk, his message still not completely being aired. There's still, like, the countdown is, by the end of this chapter, it's like there's 1 minute left for this countdown. And we get an update, I don't know if I'm skipping around or not, but we get the skeletal bird guy with York, right? York, with the Stella, or with the satellite who betrayed Vegapunk. Theory about that. Basically, Egghead is a ticking time bomb because of the layout of it, and so she's like, hey, stop just destroying things, you're gonna blow everything up, let me take care of this. And something about what she says, and it gets his attention too, because she says, I'll stop it, of course. If I add crime upon crime, it'll only make it harder to get along with you folks. I could be very wrong, but I have a feeling, or I have a thought, a theory, that maybe she's playing the long con and hasn't fully betrayed us. I don't know. And then we get the information about the transponder snail having a triangular shape with a spiral shell. It's very odd, but that's the one that they're saying this message is coming from. Of course, they're gonna have it hidden somewhere else, so they're on the lookout for that. We get an update with Stussy and Kaku. They're both fine and were ignored by the big skeleton bird. And Stussy stayed behind purposefully to give them a chance to leave, which, if she actually sacrifices herself for the Straw Hats to let them leave, I am going to be very, very sad, because we just started really getting in touch with her character, and then it's just like, boom, there she goes. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but it's like, that's huge for her to do that, and her willingness to sacrifice herself for them, I applaud her 1,000,000%. And then we get this wonderful moment with Edison where he's talking about the improbability of everything, about how, yes, their ship is going to land on land if it's launched from where it is, but they don't even hesitate. Usopp's like, okay, well, if it comes to that, like, I'm counting on y'all to help me out, just be ready. And Edison starts laughing, and he's like, this is what makes miracles work, and and that's coming from a scientist. And he puts all of his faith in the Straw Hats, and then jumps off the ledge, calculating the level of damage that he's going to take by hitting that barrier and saying, it won't kill me, let's go, it's enough, I will make sure y'all hit water, I will make sure y'all make it off this island. Oh, it's so good. Then we get the giant worm is back and is trying to like suck everything in. Luffy throws a building at him. I love that panel when Luffy's like, oh, well, if you're hungry, eat a building. Here's a building for you. And he just chucks a building at him. I love that panel. It helps them buy time to get away, so they're all running. And of course, Luffy, out of energy, needs some emergency food, but the Elbaf giants, they have emergency food. They feed Luffy this fermented shark. He is back to normal, like nothing ever happened, and then the boar guy shows up, and Luffy's like, oh, no big deal, I'll go hit this boar. Hits him with a red rock, and it does nothing. It hurts Luffy, and it looks like it's like burning Luffy in a sense. I don't know if it's just because of like the effect of the red rock, but Luffy took damage from his own attack. The boar didn't. And that's when things really start to shift in this chapter. We get the boar confronting Luffy and the two giants. We get the spider guy reaching Nami and Usopp and Chopper, reaching them, crawling ominously over the edge, which is just so off-putting. And then we get that terrifying panel of the skeleton horse showing up, cutting down a giant, and showing up in front of Bonnie and Frankie, looking so ominous and menacing, just ugh. And then we get the bird, skeleton bird, reverting back to his elder form, I guess, finding, or so-called, finding this transponder snail. And then you hear this glub, glub, glub in the background. And that's it. So it's like, by all means, if we were to take this at face value, things could not be worse. The elders have found the transponder snail that can cut off Vegapunk's message, so that never even gets released. All of these Straw Hats are being cornered right now, and they're not faring very well, and it doesn't really look good for anybody. We didn't get a peep from Zoro or Jinbei this chapter, and you know who else we didn't get a peep from? Sanji, which I will always worry about my boy Sanji. I'm glad my previous thought of the skeleton guy coming across Sanji on his own, I'm so glad that didn't come true. I'm still scared for Bonnie and Frankie because they have to face him. But it's like, where's Sanji? Where are Zoro and Jinbei? Because if Zoro and Jinbei come and meet up with Nami and the others, they're gonna have to face that spider guy. If Sanji catches up with Bonnie, he's gonna be facing the horse guy. Those are potential fights. But there's still the worm, there's still the bird that's infiltrating the building, and there's still the boar that Luffy's got. So it's like, there's still so many different things going on, and it leaves me with so many questions of like, what's gonna happen? I have like 4 burning questions. It's like, how are we gonna get out of this? Who is coming to help us? How are we going to fight these elders? And then 4, how was Vegapunk outsmarted by himself? I mean, just for, I know like the satellites, they all have their own personalities, their own thoughts and everything, but they're all connected because they're all part of Vegapunk. Which makes me think Vegapunk, being the genius that he is, had one of his satellites, one of these personalities, betray him to draw the five elders to do something. I don't know what. Maybe it has something to do with the little glub glub. I've seen a lot of theories of maybe it's Vegapunk's brain or something of the sort, that maybe something's gonna happen to that elder in that room that's gonna reveal something. I don't know. But I'm thinking that maybe the satellite is playing the long con. I don't know if that's plausible, but I'd much prefer that to then an actual betrayal of Vegapunk, kind of betraying Vegapunk in a sense. So that's kind of where I'm left. And then my questions. I have the other three questions. How are we going to get out of here? Because for all intents and purposes, we are not in a good situation. We're kind of screwed. Nothing is going our way. Nothing is looking good. So what's going to happen here? How can we plausibly get out of this situation without losing more people? Because at this point it already looks like we're losing Vegapunk. We're losing Stella. We're losing Kuma. We're losing Kuma for good this time. And we're losing Stussy, it looks like. So, like, those three off rip. And we're losing Sentamaru. So those four, actually. We're losing them, it looks like. Who else are we going to have to lose? Are we going to lose anyone else in order to get off this island? I don't know, but I'm so worried and concerned at this point because Oda has done a great job at building up these elders as menacing, very intimidating opponents that we are kind of unmatched against a little bit, because even Luffy is not faring too well against these opponents. He's not doing any damage to them. The giants, even though they sliced the worm in thirds, did no damage. The worm was back. We are not in a good situation. Nothing we're doing is working. So how are we going to plausibly get out of this situation where none of our attacks seem to work against these enemies? On the flip side, who is going to come help us? Are we going to get any additional help? I have thoughts that maybe Shanks is going to come because he was with the giants last, and maybe he's going to come. That he might stand a chance against the Gorosei. I'm not sure. Could Dragon possibly show up? Like, are we going to finally see Dragon in action because of his connection to Vegapunk and Vegapunk's warning to Dragon? Is the Revolutionary Army going to act? If Dragon comes, I bet you anything Sabo's going to come because Luffy. So, I mean, that's a potential. I don't know. There's so many variables that have been scattered from, I guess, the end of Wano towards this moment, because we haven't had an update on Law. We haven't seen the Cross Guild in a long time. And Blackbeard's crew was on this island, and then we've seen nothing from them. Is Blackbeard going to show up here? Because if he shows up here, is he going to try to steal one of the five elders' devil fruits? If it's a devil fruit, I don't know. Is he going to try to steal one of their powers so that he has that third devil fruit because he didn't successfully get Laws? Or is he going to show up and use the situation to maybe try to steal Luffy's devil fruit power and try to obtain Nika for himself? I don't think that would work, first of all, but is he gonna take this opportunity to come? Because if he shows up, he wouldn't be working with us. I don't think he would be on the Elder side or the Straw Hat side. He'd be like a very chaotic third party But it's like Law could possibly make a reappearance. The Cross Guild, I have no idea why they would come, but if Mihawk, Crocodile, and Buggy decided to show up here, that's always an option. I mean, even Kit, I think, I don't know what happened to Kit, but I mean, there's so many possibilities of people coming, like Luffy's fleet of people. If this has been broadcast and they know maybe Luffy's in trouble or something like that, there could be people on their way to try to help Luffy. I don't know. But something's gotta happen. Something's gotta give, because the position we're in is not favorable in any means is not favorable. So something's gotta give. Someone's gotta show up something, or something's gotta happen. We also have that giant armor who woke up and was standing up, and we haven't seen him since he stood up. So there's still that. It just, I don't know. How are these? I mean, how are these fights gonna go? I mean, there's too many questions I have, and we are fully back in One Piece now. So I'm not even gonna try to guess at what's gonna happen. I just have all these questions and thoughts. But I'm gonna let Oda cook a little bit longer. Maybe we'll see Sanji or Zoro next chapter, but I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what y'all guys thought about this chapter. I thought it was wonderful. I loved reading it, and I'm really excited but scared to see where this goes from here. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. We'll chat about it, and I'll see y'all next week whenever the latest chapter drops, and we'll discuss it there and see what happens, because I'm sure Oda's got something big in store for us. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time, scholars.